Real estate can be a path to financial freedom and generational wealth. Thanks to a partnership between real estate developer Fallon Company and entrepreneurship incubator, Street 2 Ivy, Boston youth from underserved communities are breaking into the competitive field and finding their bearings in real estate investment. Last Wednesday at Grub Street, the latest cohort of Boston young adults graduated from the Real Estate Entrepreneurship Youth Program. Now in its third year, the summer program has equipped 35 Boston students with the fundamentals of real estate investing. Knowledge that can radically change their economic possibilities, envisioned by Street 2 Ivy and Fallon Company.
What we do at Street 2 Ivy is really try and work on that wealth and income disparity that everyone talks about in the city of Boston. And one of the key ways that we can close that gap is by teaching young people about real estate development. When you, over the past 5 or 6 years, 10 years even, you look at the city and you see cranes, across the sky and a lot of development and a lot of wealth being generated. What we want to do is build pathways for young people from various communities, primarily communities of color, to access these opportunities. And so that's why we wanted to partner with groups like the Fallon Company to teach young people about how do I get into real estate? What are the things we can do in that space that can make a difference in all of our lives?
Over the course of 6 weeks, students are taught foundational blocks of business and financial literacy by experts in the field. Working in teams, students build their own case studies on investing in real estate property, learning how to evaluate properties, raise capital, and submit and negotiate winning offers, which they present as their final capstone project.
Year 5 is going to be 1.1.
Fallon Company leadership hopes the program can be a pipeline for establishing more diverse real estate professionals.
Our investors are going to make their return.
Diversity of backgrounds, diversity of thoughts. It's a huge problem in our industry. It's a huge problem in really every industry, right? So for this program, we like to think of it, and credit to Joe and Mike Fallon for being leaders in the space, credit to Tavares and his team at Street 2 Ivy. The goal is to get at the core of the issue and equip people who are young people who are, maybe wouldn't otherwise have those opportunities or be exposed to these resources, and be able to provide that at a very young age. So they can feel, like I said earlier, so they can feel like it's attainable to them, and they can realize that they can go out there and make a difference and make a change in the industry.
Graduates and alums of the program are walking away with the new skills of public speaking and networking, as well as confidence. Most importantly, they're feeling empowered to choose a different path for themselves.
I've never seen those big numbers actually in my life, so it's like, wow, you can really make that much off of doing this stuff, just depending on what houses you choose and what opportunities you get from the houses. So at first I would say it was kind of scary because I'm like, wow, I didn't even know it could be like that. But the more I was able to get into it and really understand how the numbers work and how you can get that cash flow, I was able to understand it more and get more knowledge on that. So I wasn't really scared at that point because I was like, all right, now I know what I have to do in order to increase values on houses and what I need to do to get that cash flow going and make a profit.
I've always come from a background seeing my parents live paycheck to paycheck, and I was always I want to come from something different. I want to build generational wealth, but I never knew how. So I definitely say this has showed me that generational wealth is possible, and it's definitely given me more of a network of people to connect with, adults especially, because I'm only 22.
What advice would you have for other young people like yourself who may be interested in real estate but might not know where to start?
I would just say don't shy away from opportunities. Really, I didn't know anything going into it. The more skills you know is so helpful for the future, and I'm really glad that I was able to do that. So I'll just tell the young kids, really just learn as much as you can, take the opportunity.
One thing that I like to teach our young people is that they're great as they are today, right? And that they have what it takes today to be great and to be successful in whatever it is they're doing. We all need education, we all need training, but what we really want to focus on is letting people know that they're valuable, and their value is something that we all need.
Inspired by his improbable journey from the streets of Florida to the Ivy League, Tavares Brewington, a Forbes Next 1000 entrepreneur and innovator, founded Street to Ivy to help unlock the entrepreneurial promise for those who've been disproportionately impacted by systemic inequities, but whose faith and drive enabled them to see beyond their current circumstances and put in the work to become the next innovators. Brewington discusses the importance of instilling young people with entrepreneurial skills and provides a closer look at the programming of Street to Ivy. Here's our conversation. I'd love to talk more about the Entrepreneurship Real Estate Youth Program that we saw. What was so incredible was watching the command of the students, especially when they talked about the properties and the investment opportunities. And the fact that they have such command at such young an age was just mind-blowing. Can you speak to the benefit of learning financial literacy and entrepreneurship skills as high school students?
Yeah, we think it's important to give young people an opportunity to learn these skills early on. One, as a practical matter, they have more of a chance to utilize them and have an impact on their personal lives, their families, and their communities. But also what's important is to give them opportunity to realize that they actually can learn this information and be confident in utilizing it and working with it. And so that's why it's important for us to get them in early, make sure that they understand the information and that they believe in themselves around what they can do with that information.
Real estate development is rapidly transforming Boston, especially economically for those who have that toolkit. How can underserved communities use real estate to build generational wealth? Yeah,
I think a real estate investment throughout the throughout history has been a really unique and effective investment vehicle, but a lot of communities have been they haven't had access to it, and so what we really want to do is give people who wouldn't traditionally have access to the investment opportunities there, those chances, right? And starting by one, identifying for them the opportunities, giving them the information about the investment opportunity and what it really means, and then putting them in contact with people who can help them take advantage of those things.
The Real Estate Entrepreneurship Youth Program, it's a collaboration between Street to Ivy and Fallon Company.
Yeah.
It's currently in its third year, but it's only one of the several programs offered by Street to Ivy. Would you mind sharing some of the other programs that you offer?
Yeah, absolutely. So we run a number of programs. The real estate program for youth is one. We actually work with Related Bio here in Boston to run a real estate program for individuals who are 18 plus, and really, doing a survey of commercial real estate and showing people where the entryways are to that industry. And we've done 2 years of that program. We also have a traditional entrepreneurship program where we've worked with Babson College and other organizations here in Boston to teach young people about design thinking. How do you ideate around a problem and come up with a solution and then ultimately, perfect that solution through customer feedback and market it? And we do that because, again, we think that in today's environment, as the world becomes more competitive, more global, our young people need to know how to compete in a complex, economic environment. And entrepreneurship is one of those ways. And so we want to make sure that we're doing all we can to offer young people those opportunities.
Wonderful. And what's next for Street to Ivy? What other projects are you working on?
Yeah, I'm really excited to announce that we opened a brick and mortar in the Seaport. And that place, we call it our education center. We have a media room, we have places where young people can come and work. But what's really exciting is with our young people, it's going to be a pop-up store. And so as our young people go through our programming around entrepreneurship, and they create a product that they want to sell, we'll give them access to the Seaport by being able to offer this pop-up store year-round and really invite the community to come in and support a young person who's believing in themselves and really embracing the education around entrepreneurship.
That's incredible. And how can our viewers learn more about Street to IV support and get involved?
Yeah, we're always looking for new partners. We always want to work with folks who are doing similar things in the community. You can find us at www.street2iv.com. You'll see all of our contact information. We're looking for partners, funding opportunities, anything that can help us move the mission forward.